let's talk about video games and love. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, today I want to talk about video games and our relationships. Let me ask you, how do you balance your relationship and video games, right? Is it a hobby, right? Or is it more of an obsession? Are you addicted to video games? There's a fine line there, right? And many of my friends, right, over the 40 plus years that I've been playing video games, most of them that have left the hobby, it's because of relationships. Their spouses have put their foot down and said, no more, right? And I want to say in 90% of the cases, the spouses were right. They were being unproductive and not managing their time properly or their resources, right? Only one time I can remember where it was unfair. It was just a very controlling woman that wanted this guy to not play video games because she said so, and that was it. And the guy, he complied with her. Now they're divorced because he was just miserable. But for the most part, a lot of it has to do with time and quality time. So what I want to do is give you some hints of things that I do, right, to keep this as a hobby. Now I know how ridiculous it sounds, trust me, to see thousands of video games in my background and tell you about things you can do about self-control. This is not what I spend the majority of the time doing, right? I do collect, in brief periods of time, and I don't play as much as most people would think, right? And how do I get that accomplished? Well, number one, right, and this is just myself from seeing other people fail. Nobody had to tell me this. There's things where when I was single, I would see spouses getting very upset with their husbands because they did some of these things. Number one, they would play video games during date time, Whenever you think of date time, with your spouse or a significant other, what is it? Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday evening? These guys were playing video games, right? They weren't talking about taking their lady out. They weren't making any plans. The only plan was to play video games. And rarely would they go out unless she forced them and said, we have to do that. We have to do this or go to my mom's house or something like that. Guys, I constantly do not do that, right? When I play video games, I see it as a reward for a job well done. I got out of work Monday through Thursday, right? Do I got 10 minutes? Do I got 15 minutes? Yeah, let me put some time into this RPG, Let me do pick up and play, which is what I'm doing the most. I can tell you one thing that has helped me a lot throughout the years, starting with the PSP, have been handhelds. And right now, this bad boy right here, this Backbone, has been probably the best, most efficient way, along with cloud gaming on the Xbox, to play pick-up and go games. But not only that, I'm playing Mass Effect on here. I'm playing the Ninja Turtles, which is great, by the way, on the cloud, on the go. Right? Whenever I get 10 minutes at the bank, 15 minutes here, I have an appointment. If I'm going to the doctor's and I have to sit there for 20 minutes, that's when I'm playing video games, right? Instead of watching YouTube or whatever, that's when I get in the time. And I put in a lot of time that way. Now, when I'm traveling, when I'm on the road, I use the Switch when I'm flying. By the way, I'm going to be traveling next month. I'm leaving about July 21st. And I'm gonna be out for a month. No videos, no nothing. You know why? Because the Asian princess and I are going on a vacation, right? So that's what I'll be doing. My time will not be divided between keeping you updated on something or playing a video game that's coming out. I don't care at that point. My priority is spending time with her, right? So being disciplined with your time, right? And knowing when to play and when not to play is key. Because let me tell you this, I want you to think, let's say you're single out there and you're thinking about the perfect spouse for you, whatever that spouse is, okay? Now, tell me why they would be interested in somebody that plays video games for, 15 hours a week. Very rarely will you find a high quality person interested in somebody that plays that much time in video games. And guys, I love video games, right? I love video games as a hobby until a point, right? When they become unhealthy for you, when they become unhealthy in your personal relationships, that's when you have to be self-disciplined, right? And watch out for those things. Are you spending more time, and I've told you before, are you spending more time playing video games than you do on actual planning of a date? Forget about going on the date, just planning, you know? You're gonna go here, you're gonna go there. Are you spending quality time playing video games that could be spent with your significant other, right? You might be lucky enough that your significant other does love video games and does, love spending time with you doing that, right? But for a lot of people, it's not that way. In my case, she has no interest in video games. Once in a great moon, unless, I have to say this, unless it's Persona, there is no interest, right? She likes those stories, she likes that type of animation. But other than that, no cigar. So you will not see me, right, spending time on stream unless she's out on a video on a Saturday night, on a Friday night. Just not gonna happen. My priority is to her and that time with her. If you don't prioritize your relationships or your self-growth over playing video games, guys, the hobby will not last for you. Or the relationship is not gonna last. So you have to keep that balance. For me, how I've done it is always keeping that discipline of when I'm gonna play, but more importantly, when I'm not gonna play, right? And this is not anything that she's told me, because over the years I've learned these things. You might have a spouse that says, you know what? Can you not do this during this time? Listen to them, right? If your spouse tells you this bothers me, you can make time, Depends, I guess, who you're married to, but if you value the relationship, then you have to cut it down, because believe me, if you don't, this hobby will end for you, and it's not going to end well, right? If you don't have your partner 100% behind you in anything, whether it's your hobbies or any plans that you have, it's going to be more difficult. It's like Chris Rock says, moving a sofa is difficult by yourself, but you can do it between two people, right? And if you're both on the same page, everything works. How can I have such a big collection? Because I don't spend most of my time here in my collection playing video games. Most of my time is spent doing productive things and things that are, healthy for the relationship and for myself, right? So be careful of not crossing that line. At some point, if you cross that line, it's no longer a hobby and it becomes an addiction. And then it will affect you in negative ways. If you really love video games, guys, stay disciplined, stay conscious, be mindful of your partner and what they're telling you, because communication is key. And I just wanted to put that out there, guys. I was talking to a couple of guys, and I have two friends specifically right now that just said, screw it. They're playing video games, right? To an unhealthy point, right? These are people that are over 30 years old, should have a solid life relationship. But guys, right now, these two gentlemen, because that's all I can call them, have decided to just play video games and nothing else. And I mean, video games and cigarettes for one, video games and booze for the other, and that's their plan. Don't let that be you. There's more to life than video games. Video games are a reward for a job well done. Guys, what do you think? What tips do you have for other people on how to manage their relationships and their video games? Let us know. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.